Okay, what's going on, boys? We're going to go with the best meta players in each position. We're going to start off with the defensive line, so like left backs, right backs, centre backs. We're going to go through the best meta players, but also we're going to go through some budget-friendly players and mid-tier players, players like Pacha that perform better, I would say, than their price would indicate. Ones that we don't see, because I know not everyone has 10 million coins. And of course, we'll go over what I feel is best, who I've used, and what I think overall is the best player for each. So we're going to start off with the centre backs. We'll move over to left backs and right backs in a second, because some of them can play two roles. Now for centre backs, look, I think if I had to say the number one for most people would be Virgil van Dijk. And to be honest, I pretty much echo that opinion. He's got everything that you want: the physical presence, the defensive AI of where he positions and intercepts everything. Is mainly because of his stature, being 6'4" and being that fantastic player. 92 sprint speed, block, aerial, anticipate. You could argue, well, anticipate is a bit overrated in my opinion. Silver or base anticipate is fine, but block and aerial, and he's basically everything you want. I think there's nothing that you maybe I would prefer jockey playstyle plus, which will take him to an insane level as opposed to that. But look, he's expensive, 5 mil. Team of the year, he's got a team of the year version as well, whatever it is. But I'll be honest, the playstyles, this will be a cheaper option if you can't afford this one. Arguably has very good playstyles as well. So if you don't need the long ball, I'll be honest, maybe go with the cheaper one as well. Then we go with one of my favorite centre backs this year. I don't like the Relentless. I think it was a wasted playstyle, but I think they did deliberately not to make him too overpowered. But got quick step, jockey, block, and anticipate playstyle pluses. One of my favorite, good agility and balance, could be better. He's still tall, 6'1". If I had to choose one player, this would be the guy that I would choose in my defense. 1 million coins. I think he'll be worth 5 million if you ask him, if it wasn't for the leagues. Because the team of the season links and who he is, I think, honestly, in my opinion, he goes in top 5 centre backs that I've used inside the game. I got on my main account. Absolute beast. Saves me every single time. He's got block playstyle plus and a jockey playstyle plus, which are the two of my favorite ones. When I'm looking for defender, those are my two ones. Yes, his passing could be better, but a better playstyles. But who cares? His job's to defend and defend. And Kim and Jay comes another one. Jockey intercept also has tiki taka for that quick passing for distribution outside the defense. Another very good card. 200k, I think, is an absolute steal. The thing is, with most centre backs, you want to go for like 91 sprint speed ideally, so you can max out at least a 99 sprint speed. Virgil van Dijk kind of lacks the acceleration, whereas Pacho doesn't. And you can see Kim and Jay just offered as well. So another very good card that goes in. Upamecano, also a very good card. I think also the reasoning comes down to not only price, but what do you like? You know, most people are playing defend. Let's be realistic. But I think if you are maybe a player that scores a lot of headers, you may lean towards aerial. If you struggle defensively, you may lean towards jockey. So these are all things to take into account. But I would say those are kind of the top 4 or 5. Tar, I've not used, but I'll be honest, the sprint speed is really what helps him. But I'll be honest, I would really want like a jockey or a block, and that's why I put him towards the end of the list. I don't think he's worth it over Pacha. I think Pacha's a better player. But defensively, don't get me wrong, the guy's an absolute tank. Just a few honorable mentions that I think are better, people think. Hanko, I can't believe this guy is 20k. He's got block and jockey. I've used him. Fantastic card. Very underrated. Don't let him go. 6'2". Don't push him aside. He's very, very good. Put a shadow on him. You've got a very good centre back there. Saliba is more of the obvious option. Maybe some people like above Virgil van Dijk with a jockey playstyle plus. Another top one there. I think the argument is he's also in the this top 10. I want to put a blanket statement over them. Maldini still goes up there, but a bit pricey. Another cheap option as well is this guy over here. Not used him, but looking at his stats, very, very good. Good play styles as well. And Sanchez, another good cheap option. But I think he's risen in price. I think he went down a little bit, then he went back up again. I think people are noticing. Yes, he could have a bit better and more defensive play styles, but on the latter end. And Alaba, if you're looking for a distributor, has got the base play style. So look, if you're asking me, I would say Virgil van Dijk first. Probably Pacho second. And Saliba, Kim and Jay, I would say third, fourth. I think there's a big argument. I think there's some good price performance cards in there as well. Now, moving swiftly across the back line, there's quite a few players. So we're going to omit some of the players here. I'm going to put some players in. So he goes in. Don't forget the jockey playstyle as well. Another very good underrated card. Distribution could be better, he could have better curve, but he can play center back as well, is why I wanted to bring him up. So if you're looking for that universal player that can play a bit of everywhere, he's basically one of those free cards that you get. Another one is this Aina card. I'll be honest, I looked at his card and I was thinking, why does no one really use him? He's got jockey and block as well. Why I like him as well is, look, quick step, long ball is what I want. I would like a ping pass, but from a defensive standpoint, I think he's a very good card. Good distribution as well. Hatto's another card I want to put down. Quick step, a decent card as well, I think, for the price. Not for a center back, maybe more for the left back. He can still play center back, of course, but I think for a left back, he's completely fine. Carver still up there being one of the best, if you're asking me personally speaking. I like the long ball playstyle. It's quite hard. I want to show you the filters that I want towards the end. Card Chariot, another very underrated card. The benefit with Harrow is you can put someone like a Sentinel on her because she's got the sprint speed naturally. Again, a jockey playstyle. Lacks, you can argue, some of the passing styles, but if you're a whipped crosser type player, I can imagine why I'd use them. DeMarco is another very good card. I think for another defensive option that you're looking for, he's also got incisive and long pass for those down the wing balls as well, which I think are very, very effective, and a quick step playstyle plus. Nuno Mendes, of course, goes in. Very underrated player in real life, I think. Has really ping pass, some of the real top tier playstyles that you'd want. Another good card. Could argue be playing center back as well. Maybe the height would be a bit problematic for some people, but 5'11" for me is fine. Bronze is very, very good. Frimpong also goes in, being a very good card as well, although an SBC. Trent, I would probably say the best price to performance card. I think if we look at some of the best left backs, and just to give you a bit of an example, I'm just going to scroll over here. I'm just going to put all the left backs above sprint. We're going to come to Davies in a second. A lot of these cards, you're paying a lot for the play styles. I think Trent has everything. The fact he's 60k is almost a joke because he's got all the best passing styles. He's got the jockey play style plus as well. Yes, he could have block, intercept, maybe even aerial and quick step. But I'll be honest, if you're like that kind of person that plays a right back, likes to distribute those balls down the wing with incisive or a long ball, and he can still do those ping pass tiki tackers, I think arguably one of the best attacking players going forward for the price, it's got to be Trent. Should be easily, in my opinion, if the market really dictated how good this player was, should be realistically a very much higher price. I can't believe his price range is that low. Maldini we talked about already, but can play left back. Not really much of a passer, but if you wanted a defensive minded one, although I wouldn't recommend it. I'm going to Muno as well. Davies probably goes in there with being one of my favorites. I use him right now on my main account. I've used him. I'm just replacing him now with the Mendy Evolution. I still think he's a very good card. Yes, you could argue his defensive awareness isn't the best, and that's where you could argue someone like a Sentinel, pushing defensive awareness a bit higher. Pinged pass, quick step, and the jockey playstyle plus, I think are the most important playstyles for me. I would love it if he had incisive and tiki-taka, a silver or a base one. But I'm looking at quick step to be quick off the ball. And don't forget quick off the mark as well. Don't forget he is controlled. So that quick step can help a lot. Jockey playstyle and ping pass. I deliver those ping passes into the middle as well. Also, of course, the roles are also going to dictate, but most of these players have got the main roles of fullback and fullback defend. It's not really too much of an issue. Furpo also goes in, got incisive and jockey playstyle plus. Another very good card as well. 5-star weak foot. Very underrated. Plays better than his stats will dictate. I think, or his price will dictate. I think he's a very good card. Left back, very, very good card. And then, of course, Trent we talked about as well. Lala, I'll be honest. One mistake EA did, which is benefit for us, is they released this card earlier. These meta ratings, I don't look at these meta ratings too much. If this guy is a meta rating of 88, I think it's a bit of a joke. This guy should be high 9. That's why I don't worry. I don't really. These meta ratings are done by algorithms, by certain stats. I have my own meta rating, you could argue. So, although I'm a big fan of foot.gg, I don't necessarily agree. Same with easysbc.io. I remember like, people telling me, oh, this card's meta. It's just an algorithm and what they determine what stats are important. Who made the algorithms? Who do you know? It could be any random person who decided to put heading accuracy as the meta indicator when arguably in defensive standpoint it's not important. But that could be the reason. So you got to bear that in mind. But I think it's a very good card. Incisive for those through balls down the wing. Quick step and intercept and a jockey playstyle plus silver. I think he's the best free card that they've given us if you got for the paid premium pass. The fact they gave it us so early on, I think, is a very good card. And last, the only issue is the links. Turam still goes in. I think it's a bit too pricey. I probably wouldn't lean towards him. I think there's other better cards available, especially because his lack of his actual passing ability. But the centre back ability, there was an option as well. Another honourable mention for Di Lorenzo, another very underrated card. Got a Tiki Taka and Jockey Playstyle Plus. And of course, he does have the whipped cross if you like to use that as well. Another very good card as well. And then Lorente, another card I want to put in that I liked, very underrated. And then Robinson, we'll come back to Robinson in a second actually. One on this card here, I saw him 30k, absolute cheap card. I've not used him. Looks like an absolute beast though, to be honest. Thank God his team this season have that ability to just play in any team. Bale, one of my favorite cards. I don't know why he's so cheap. I think he's very good. People are saying he's washed. He's not washed. He is a very good left back. Maybe you could argue aggression and okay, there's a few things you could nitpick, but for me, he has most of what I want. Icon as well, gives chems everywhere, chem links everywhere. I think he's a very good card. Put a Sentinel on him, I think he's a very good card. Robinson, I actually think he's one of the best in the Premier League. Good sprint speed naturally, good defending. If you're looking just for someone that's cheap and can get the job done, let's say you want any league or just someone that can fill in the gap and you want someone that's cheap, Robertson can get in at left back. And we're going to come back to... who's the card I want to come back to? Did I miss someone? No, I didn't miss someone. But look, there is a few other cards available. There's a few cards like bronze we haven't really gone over, I think. Some of these cards you can argue 5 for 8. Sometimes you can argue on being the sense of being too short. Kimmich, of course, he's up there as well. But I'm going to be honest, ideally, like I'm going to still want a jockey. When I'm looking at a fullback, I'm looking at up against a 4-2-1-3. They're going to have to defend in the middle a little bit. But there is a lot of players available that you could potentially choose. I've just picked some that I really liked and ones that really stood out. But that would be the best meta players for the back line. If you're asking me on realistically who I would like, the two cheap options are these. But like if you're asking me personally speaking, I like Pacho. He's one of my favorite. And I think I mix it alongside with Saliba. I think there's an argument for many players here, but the jockey play style, a bit of both. They're both tall, bit versatile players. They can do everything. Davies goes in with left back for me. I think he's one of the better players. There's arguably many players there, but Davies goes in for me. And then for the right back, arguably there's many players as well. If you're looking, I'm just saying as an example, Di Lorenzo would be a very good option. But for me, I think for the price as well, Trent. I think not that Trent, not at this stage of the game anyway. Well, not any time actually. It was just a bit too slow always, unfortunately. But this Trent for me, price performance for an attacking player going forward. If you play my 4-2-2, have this. If you have the right attacking cam as the half winger, and then the shadow striker in the middle, this guy on the right hand side, perfect for those through balls. Very underrated. But that is the best meta players in each position for the defensive line. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope the recommendations also kind of tiered to the masses as well, because I know not everyone has 10 million coins. Yeah, it's fine for me to just recommend everyone that's got 5-10 million coins, but I know it's not realistic. So I thought I'd give you different budgets, some high budgets, mid tier, and also some cheap beats as well. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you want to see down below in the comments section. Let me know down below if you want to see the defending option. If we get maybe like 10 or 15 or 20 comments, we might do that very, very soon. I mean, defending? Midfield option. We'll do maybe do CDMs and then we split them up individually like cam, strikers, and then maybe goalkeepers we'll kind of put in together with something else. But let me know down below. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Don't forget if you want to get better FC cards, my Patreon, patreon.com/know guys. Links down below in the description. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace.